Good morning. We're the Mavens of Motivation, and we have a great show for you. So be sure to stay on till the end.
Okay, I'm Barbara Ellison, and we are going to be talking today about life choices, and life opportunities. And especially now as we're getting a little older. And just so we're going to be talking to my good friend and buddy, Shelly. And Shelly, welcome so much to the show. I love your banner. Results driven, passion fueled. So
Yeah.
true.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, I got that yesterday at the dollar store.
Ah!
Only $1.25 because it's not the dollar store anymore. Inflation is beating everybody up. So when we talk about life choices and opportunities, a lot of people need to figure out a way to combat that darned inflation. So I help people with that.
Right. Exactly. So, Shelly, tell us about it. I mean, we've known each other for quite a few years. So, but
I've
tell
been
us
hearing
about you.
Stories.
Yes. And we can tell the stories too. Yes.
We can tell the story of how we met. Yeah, it might be kind of fun. So what do you want? Just
tell us about you.
What did you used to do and what do you do now?
All right. So, the longest career I had, the most fulfilling one prior to my current one, was I owned a mortgage company. And I love helping people with financial literacy. I loved helping people use their homes as a tool for wealth creation and some wealth management. It was such a good fit for me. Mm-hmm. I had an office in Denver. I had 14 people on payroll and then another 24 who were independent contractors. Had a 6-figure income. I had a nanny. I had someone who cooked us dinner a couple of nights a week so I didn't have to deal with all of that. It was just a really great lifestyle. And then the mortgage meltdown happened. And we lost everything. And it was literally overnight. Our niche product that we built the company on went away in one day. And when that happened, behind closed doors in my house, it was tense and it was scary and the anxiety was palpable. Yeah. And I wasn't able to tell anybody what was going on. So I felt very alone. I literally had these visions of, like, how the hamster wheel just goes and goes and goes. Like, I could picture us being homeless. And I'm trying to find out, because we weren't going to be able to keep our big house, none of that. And how do we find a place where we can live and not have to get rid of the dog and all those crazy things. And I'm very entrepreneurial. I found myself applying for jobs, which I didn't want a job. I like owning a business. And I was in the running for a job that paid substantially less than what I was used to making, but it was substantially more than zero. And the guy who owned the company said to me, it was down to 2 candidates and we decided to go with the younger guy. So I'm literally age discriminated against. And then 2 weeks after that, when the age discrimination, I was 46, by the way, in 2009. I'm age discriminated against at 49 years old. And a friend called and she said, I just partnered with a company that's bringing a way to reverse aging to market. It's brand new technology. Let's talk about this. And she showed me some videos. I looked at the science. I looked at their compensation plan. I got so excited. I couldn't sleep. I had no money to buy in. So I literally robbed Peter to pay Paul in order to get started in that venture, knowing nothing, scared to death. And long story short, it turned out to be a really good decision. I mean, when we were broke, and prior to COVID, nobody understood this, but after COVID, everybody does. We were broke. We were so desperate. We were using what I like to call Chuck Norris toilet paper. Are you familiar with that? It's rough, it's tough, and it doesn't take poo off of anybody.
I love it. I have never heard that term, ever.
Well, after COVID, now everybody understands where we were, right?
Yeah.
anyway, I jumped into that. It turned out to be a really good decision. So when you talk about decisions and opportunities,
Yeah.
it wasn't clothed the way I expected opportunity to look. It was in something completely different, and it involved me leaving my comfort zone and learning some new things. But in 3.5 years, I was able to create enough income to live on, which is part-time effort.
Yes.
And what was really cool is, and I brought this prop, 2-ply, soft, it's the good stuff.
Is it squeezable?
It's the good stuff. You know, it's good to have those little simple pleasures back in life. And
People don't
I
realize how
that.
they miss those simple pleasures.
Yeah.
You know, I had with my background, I used to fly a lot, and I had a friend, she was going, I don't like flying anymore. I said, why? She goes, I can't, or she was saying, I can't lose my platinum status. And I said, oh, it's no big deal. And, because we'd had it forever. And she goes, oh, Carol, I can't stand in a line. It's, and everything. And then they started changing things. I'm like, now I get what she meant. It's like, it's no fun anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a sardine on an airplane.
But people talk about, oh, I wish I could go here. I wish I could go there. Oh, I want to do this. I'm like, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't jazz my jets anymore.
Yeah.
But then
I figure one of these days,
a lot. So.
I want to go to Africa, but I am going to go when I can take the big jumbo jet that has beds. And
oh, can I bunny trail once? Can I do a little bunny trail?
Sure.
I used to have to fly to Orlando every summer. And I went a couple times, but anyway, I was flying on the 4th of July, or for the 4th weekend. Okay. It was the largest number of flights in the year, and they were having problems filling all their flights. So what they did was they took and they brought all these international flights into DFW to do the not local, but the national flights. And so we got on the plane, and they were going, when I was checking in, they're going, oh, we've got a seat for you. And I was going, okay, because they had to reseat everybody on the plane because it was a different plane. But it was the largest number of people to travel through DFW all year. And I've forgotten. I used to know the numbers, but I've forgotten them. But my seat on the plane was crew quarters for the overnight flights, or for the long international flights. Yeah. So I had a place. There were only 2 seats, and nobody was with me. I had big fluffy pillows. My seat went straight back flat. I had room. The stewardesses just waited on me hand and foot and laughed that I was in their quarters and stuff. But I mean, it was a dream flight with all the little kids and all the other people out kicking the backs of your chairs. And I'm there, I'm like, oh. So yeah, going to Africa that way would be fine. But I mean, this is beyond first class. It was like
life is better first class. Life is better.
It is. And I flew enough that I got to go up quite often. And when I always carried my luggage on, because you travel so much that you learn to pack. I can pack for a week or two in one little bag. But anyway, and I'm putting my bag in the overhead, and this gentleman goes, you're flying first class. They would have checked your bag for free. And I'm like, yeah, they would. But then I have to wait an hour on the other end for it and stuff. And I realized that he did not travel that much. And, had probably.
Oh, yeah. Carol's got me trained. I carry one bag and only check my bag if they make me. Yeah. But then I don't pay for it. And they have it's because it's the last one on, it's the first one off.
Well, and I used to travel a bit with a girl who had been a stewardess in the past, and her husband was the supervisor on duty at Dallas. And so at DFW. And so when we would fly out somewhere, he would always move us up to first class. I mean, he would move us out and the stewardesses just waited on us hand and foot because he was their supervisor. And so
Right.
not so much coming home, but going out was a dream. But she, you know, I was going, how do you pack everything in that? I mean, she even had the magnifying makeup mirror that screwed together so she could do all of her getting ready. And I'm like, how in the world do you do that? Because at that point I was a just in case packer. Oh, I might need this, I might need that, I might, you know. And one friend of mine says, why don't you buy more costume jewelry that goes to match each and every outfit? Because we were shopping in some town where I was, and she lived there. And I said, because then I have to carry it. It's heavy, it's bulky. You know, I have 2 or 3 great pieces that I wear with everything, you know, 1 or 2 pair of black pants and about 5 or 6 shirts. Get you anywhere. You know. But anyway, that you know, just to say, yeah, to fly to Africa and crew quarters would be cool if you weren't having to crew.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, so Shelly, back to our little, we tend to butt a trail. But you know what? But that's it, life.
That's right.
We all have different opportunities and we all have different experiences.
And different hardships too.
In different what?
Like you talk hardships.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about a bunny trail, and Barbara knows my story, my son got very sick and needed a heart transplant. Talk about veering off course.
Yes.
If you're going to get a transplant, you have to have one person who can go with you to every single doctor's appointment. Sometimes there's not a lot of notice. And it's like, you might have one to boom, because he's going to die any minute. And we got to get him this approval and the committee, and there's all these doctors, and, you know, you don't know what life is going to bring.
Exactly.
From day to day.
Right. And so it's good to dig your well before you're thirsty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's good to have something set up so that when challenges happen, you're ready for them. And Barbara has been to the same personal development events I've been to. It's like, I don't save for a rainy day, because if you save for a rainy day, you'll get one.
Right.
You save for opportunities,
right?
Because then you get opportunities. But sometimes rainy days happen to everybody. So be prepared and just, you know, again, learn to just put one foot in front of the other and do the next right thing.
Well,
yeah.
And the good news is my son is doing very well right now, so he's
good.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, you know, don't, like you said, don't curse yourself. You know, we talk on our shows all the time about the words of your mouth, you know, the saving for a rainy day, as opposed to save for opportunities or save to invest, or, you know, looking at, I mean, kudos to you for choosing a business that could give you a return on investment so quickly, you know.
Well, and everybody wants that. And I think I love helping people start businesses. Look at the 5 factors. And Peter Drucker, who's a business guru, he talks about there's 5 factors. And if you can get, you want check marks in as many of those boxes as you can get.
Right.
If you get check marks in 3 boxes, you got a good business. Get check marks in 4, you've got a great business. Get check marks in all 5, you've got a once in a lifetime opportunity. Fall all over yourself and do whatever you have to do to get in front of that. And
so
I was just
tell our guests how much.
I mean,
tell our listeners what those 5 are.
So you want to look at the company you're getting involved with, who's running it, how much experience do they have, what's their integrity. You want to look at the product that you have. Is it something unique? Is it something consumable so that you can get repeat? Is it effective? Is the price point right? So there's a lot of things to look at with the product. You want to look at compensation. How well are you going to get paid? Because you could have the coolest thing in the whole world, but if they don't pay you enough to make it worth your while,
right,
it's not going to be worth your time. So those are the first 3. You want to look at the culture and the support systems. Systems are
and
great.
The training, yeah.
Because, well, if you don't have a good systems, is an acronym for yourself, serious time, energy, money.
Time, energy, and money.
Right. And if you can't step away from your business, so you're making money while you sleep, you don't have a business. You've bought yourself a job.
Exactly.
And so you want something where you can step away. I had to step away. My son went in the hospital. He had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. Mom's out of the picture. Somebody had to take care of those kids.
And they're so cute.
They are cute. They're cute. And they all live with me because he can't work at this point in time. So I had to buy a bigger house. Like, I have this 6-bedroom house. Barbara's been in it. It doesn't, it's in a working class neighborhood, so it's modest, but it's got 6 bedrooms and a fireplace. It meets a fenced yard and meets our needs.
Yep.
And so, but I didn't have to go work harder to move from my 2-bedroom townhouse to my 6-bedroom house because the business checked those boxes. And then the last thing is timing. You know, if you want to go out there and sell typewriters, God bless you, but you missed the boat on the timing. It's too late.
Right.
You've got to have something that's relevant that people want right now. And that's a huge, huge piece of it. So you want all 5 boxes checked off. If you can get it, get at least 3 checked off. And then if you're willing to roll up your sleeves, get to work and get some good mentoring, there's a lot of things you can do to create opportunity.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So guys, that is a big aha. If you didn't take notes while she was talking, you missed the boat there. So
Go back to the replay.
Go back and replay it over and over,
Yes,
because that is,
because
it's good to know. And I will, you know, one thing I'll give you too, just another pro tip. If you take those 5, make a pie, just a circle, and then you can put slices of the pie for each of those 5.
Mhm.
Maybe for you, the thing that makes your heart beat faster is the product. Has to be something I'm excited about. Make that piece bigger. If the timing is bigger, make that piece bigger. Make your slices of the pie relative
To
to
fit you.
they have to fit you. And that also helps you to narrow down whatever business you're looking at. Because at the end of the day, you have to feel good about what you're doing,
Yes.
or it's going to be really hard to make yourself take action. You don't have a boss looking over your shoulder,
Right.
threatening to fire you if you don't do the work.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to get excited.
Right. And every morning, like with me, when I, to get out of bed and just be excited about what you're doing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
that's the
sometimes
gift.
get up early.
And sometimes get up early.
Yeah, there are times that Barbara and I have meetings at 5:30 and 6, 7 early.
Yeah. Because that's the time you're fresh on it's fresh. I mean, let's be honest. We come to those meetings, no makeup, in our jammies.
Unless it's with a
I've
client.
been on the phone with Barbara at 11 at night. I know she's a night owl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so to hear that is impressive.
Yeah. And it just, so fun, but fun people. And Carol and I talked about it earlier this morning. Find a running mate. Somebody that wants the same things, not maybe the same thing, but find the same things. What's important to you?
It doesn't have to be the same company or the same product line or whatever, but somebody, not a business partner, but a running partner.
But that's what Shelly and we've been running. I mean, we bounce things back and forth. I mean, we've attended seminars together. We've, we
travel together. We have fun together. And it is nice to find like-minded people. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And you can become very intentional about identifying who that is.
Right.
Who do I want to spend my precious, non-renewable resource of time with?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you get older, by the way, like, you've heard the thing, go back to the toilet paper. Life is like a roll of toilet paper. The older you get, the faster it goes.
Yes.
But, okay, we're given in Genesis 6, I think. 6, yeah. We're given 120 years. It says, I give unto man 120 years. Now, you may not get that 120 years if you spend your time watching soap operas and eating bonbons and Twinkies. But if you treat this only vehicle you will ever inhabit, I mean, you can't trade it in for a new model. I mean, you might get a new part, Okay. Occasionally they can give you new parts now, but for the most part, what you've got is what you've got, and you need to take care of it. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
that
just
gets
aware.
more critical as you get older to take good care of your body.
exactly. Exactly.
And for me, one of the things for me too, as I've gotten older, is just take care of what's up here,
Yes.
of just getting your mindset that you're not getting old. You're not getting old. My age is going up, but I'm not getting old. And that's where the words of your mouth come in.
Yes.
Guard the words of your mouth. Because it's like, oh, I'm so old. Well, if you tell yourself you're so old, guess what? You're like, as a friend of ours says, he says, we have 37.2 trillion cells in our body. And every one of those cells is listening to you.
Listening to your thoughts, not just your words.
Is listening to your thoughts.
You know what's interesting is I always tell myself I'm 20 on the inside.
Yes.
Like that is my thing. And my kids could even, she's 20 on the inside.
But think back, does it look different from in here? No. If we didn't have mirrors, we wouldn't see the changes.
Right.
We're wiser. We're more, circumspect with what we say and do. Hopefully.
We have more wisdom.
We have more wisdom. Yeah. But as far as, I keep thinking that one of my bucket list items that I've never done is skydiving.
Yes. I want to do it.
You need to do it.
Yeah.
I did that when I turned 50. Well, no, the plan was to do skydiving when I turned 50, but instead, Barbara, I did Enlightened Warrior Camp. So, which is this big adventure camp. It's an intense experience. So I did it in Vancouver. So then British Columbia, not actually in Vancouver, but outside in the mountains in Squamish. Right. So I had a bucket list experience when I turned 50. So when I turned 55 is when I actually jumped out of the airplane. And I'm terribly afraid of heights. So this is not like, oh, some thrill seeker thing. It was just, I wanted to go so far outside my comfort zone and to push yourself, because then I found, and this is going to sound crazy. It's crazy. There was as much anxiety in my, your stomach, or when you're just feeling like, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane was literally as scary for me as picking up my telephone to make a phone call to someone I'm scared to talk to. There was no difference in that level of fear. Wow. But I had to jump out of the airplane to know that. And there's some cool things, like on the plane I went up on, they had 3 people. It was tandem jumps. And so you got on the plane and you had to climb a ladder to get to the plane. So here I'm afraid of heights. So I got on the plane last, not thinking that the person who gets on last gets off first.
Right.
So my plan was to be in the middle. Somebody would jump off. I would be able to see them jump off. And then I would go second. If I was last, then I wouldn't be able to wuss out. So that was my plan. But I'm first. And so the guy who strapped to me, his name was Jason. God bless him. I've got pictures of me and Jason all over my office. And I'm hanging onto the side of the airplane, like, death grip. And you rock back and you rock forward and you rock back and you rock forward. Well, what happens is these guys that do this live for the adrenaline. They live for the free fall when you're going like 120 miles an hour at, however many feet you're up there. And it's this beautiful view. But so you go back, I'm going forward, I'm getting ready to go back. And Jason just pushes me out of the plane. Okay, I'm skydiving.
Yeah.
At that point,
and I've heard that they no longer allow people.
And I'm trying to smile because I was like, I'm going to show everybody in the world I did this. And it's one of those experiences. Get the video and get the picture, no matter how much it costs, because there will be sticker shock. But I promise you, and everybody watching this, when you do something cool like that, get the video, get the pictures, record that experience, because then it gives you an opportunity to go back and relive that memory. So every year on my birthday, I've got the memory of I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane, and I go back and watch that video, and it is so empowering. So just a little life hack: spend the money on recording the experience, so you get to relive it.
Right. And one of the things on that note too, in warrior camp that we went to, I climbed a telephone pole. And then jumped off the platform.
My group didn't get that far because the experience where you had to do that, there were things you had to do first, and you had to do them as a team.
Yeah.
And there was one gal who, conservatively speaking, probably weighed about 350 pounds. And they had guys pushing on her bottom to help her get up some of the things. And we didn't get as far as some of the other ones, but we learned about teamwork.
We learned about teamwork.
Anybody behind. So I didn't have to do that, but to me, that would have been just as scary as the airplane.
Yeah.
See, and so
just as scary.
I think they should give you a second chance to, yes, don't leave anybody behind, don't do anything, teamwork and all that, but like a second chance to go get to do something like that.
Yeah, but in life, you don't always get a second chance.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. It was,
you take whatever happens, and then you're gonna find your life lesson.
Yeah.
To come out of it. And quite frankly, for the number of people going through that experience and the logistics, I can see why they don't. So
true.
It's one of those things where it didn't work out that we didn't get to do that, and I'm okay with that. Although I know there are some people who would have loved to climb the pole and jump off of it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We were so harnessed in, and it was so safe, and they were so
yeah.
It really was. Talk about pushing you out of your comfort zone.
Well, Barbara, the next time you're here, and you should come join us too, Shelly, but they have where you can hang glide through the Paladura Canyon. It's next thing to the Grand Canyon. And to hang glide in the canyon is so cool. And they opened up a couple of years ago. I haven't gotten down there yet, but yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
So so one of the things that kind of what the gist of this conversation is, do something that stretches your limits.
Yes.
And do not say, oh, I'm too old to do that.
Oh, no.
And so many people, oh, I couldn't do that. I'm too old. Your age is a number on a calendar.
Well, and I think so many people, as they get older, they start thinking about, well, if I fall, I'll break a bone. Well, I could hurt myself. Would insurance cover it and stuff? It's like, and those are all true. Those are all true. However, that's where the old thinking comes in. I mean,
what if you don't?
If I had a chance to go ski Black Diamonds again, I think I would actually ski them harder than I used to, because I realized back then when we used to go that they're more fun if you do them fast. Because I was like going over the moguls. I was like, that's just terror. If you just do it and go, it's way more fun.
Yeah. So that's
I've got a friend who's probably 82. He skis every day the ski resorts are open, I swear. And it's always the Black Diamond and Double Diamond. And like, he doesn't let it slow him down. We live near the mountains, so it's real easy for him to get up there.
Yes.
And he makes new friends on the chairlift. It's just, he doesn't let that hold him back at all.
Yeah, and that's an advantage of living close. You can get your season pass, and you can, you can do all those things where, like, for me, it's a trip. Well, it's only a 5 or 6 hour trip to up to maybe 7 or 8. But anyway, to get to a ski, we have the whole Enchanted Circle in New Mexico, not too far from me, but still you have to. Keith told me I could no longer do what at young we'd call suicide trips. He said, you can't do those anymore. You will spend the night. You're not going to try to drive up ski all day and drive back. Just some parameters.
Spending the night is good. I mean, get
Yeah.
yourself a nice Airbnb.
Yeah.
Order food in. Have a, I
Have a hot
love
tub in
staying.
the room.
Yeah, I mean, there's so
Yes.
many great places to
Treat
stay.
yourself.
Yeah. Make that part of the experience. I've invited Barbara to do this, and she's gonna come do it with me.
Yeah.
We're gonna go whitewater rafting together.
Right.
We
were going to do it, and then we got shut down, of course, and couldn't do it.
Right.
We
craziness.
should go do that on our way to St. George sometime. You need to meet us in St. George, and then we could go do the Red Rock and stuff. We got to go rock crawling and jeeping in the sands and do the around at high speed with the Lightning McQueen music going.
Oh gosh.
It was so cool. It was
a blast.
Oh my. Yeah, stuff like that is so fun, and it gives your life zest. And, if you're scared, just tell yourself, like 38,000 people a day go on the Arkansas River. Well, you know what? You don't hear about people dying doing it. Mm-hmm. They figured out a way. Make sure you wear your helmet. Make sure you're not drinking while you're doing it. Wear your wetsuit. Paddle hard. Paddle in unison. That's one thing you learn whitewater rafting, man. If you're all paddling in unison, you can control where your raft goes. Exactly. If you're not, that's where you get beat up by the rapids and spit out. I don't remember.
And there's so many life lessons there. There's so
exactly.
many life lessons when you do these things, but we stop growing. We stop educating ourselves. We stop pushing ourselves. We stop doing the fun things. There's just so many things that as we age and are told no and told you can't, you never will, why would you want to,
why would you want to? That's what I get.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that? Because I can.
Yeah
because it looks fun. I trust my friend who enjoyed it.
Well, and I had broken my ankle, and I broke the bone that hinges the foot, and it's screwed on with a screw. And this was when I was 21. And so for the longest time, nobody would let me go skiing. They said, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't. And finally, I thought, I am going to go do that. And had a blast because I grew up water skiing, but I never did snow ski. And it's a whole different ball game. Same as ice skating and roller skating, whole different method. But go do those things. If you're worried about breaking your wrist, wear some wrist guards. If you're worried about,
take precautions.
Yeah, but don't let it stop you.
So. And just don't go. I mean, prepare. One of life's lessons. If you're going to do something different, prepare for it. Like you couldn't, like today, if somebody asked me to run a marathon tomorrow, no. That's not going to happen. Now. But you know what? But a year from now, a friend of ours is training for a half marathon. He's 75.
And he's running because a friend in a wheelchair that could not even walk wanted to do a triathlon. And he is doing it. And he asked Jim to go run with him in the running part, the very last one. But he could not even, he was paralyzed. He could not walk. And now he's in a triathlon because he set his mind to it. He worked on getting his body. Yeah.
Its mindset is 9% of everything.
Exactly.
And everything, it starts with your mindset.
You think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. If God's called you to do it, you can do it. If God's called you to do it, He will give you everything you need to do it. Now, sometimes we go off on our own, but for the most part, just ask.
So just do it. Kind of do the Nike thing. Just do it. So, Shelly, this has been awesome. We'll have to have you come on again.
Yes,
we'll have to get together.
Yeah.
Well, you know where I live.
Yes, I know. I love. Shelly's taken me around Denver, And it was like, wow, just gorgeous. That's one of my things, is that on my bucket list is to live 2 months at the mountains, 2 months in the beach, and 2 months in the desert. And right above Denver, wow, we had such a good time. We hiked, we did all sorts of things, and just beautiful. So
There's so
went to
much
Red
to
Rocks.
do around Denver.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the Red Rocks amphitheater. I mean, we exercised in there. You can walk up and down the benches, and it's a natural amphitheater. It was amazing.
well, and next time let's go to a concert there, because that's
And we'll
what
go to a concert.
the concerts there are just, it's phenomenal. And everybody wants to play Red Rocks.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
get everybody from
The
every
beats.
musical genre. They all want to play Red Rocks because it's
So,
unique and it's beautiful. So
yeah. So Shelly, thanks for coming on. This was
thank you
great.
for
Yes.
inviting me.
This has
This
been
is
a
fun.
blast. This has been a blast. Remember, this is Mavens of Motivation. Be sure to click like and share and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for Mavens of Motivation and tell your friends about us, because we want to help make everyone's life better. So,
Yeah.
that's all for now.
Have a good one. Bye.